Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy. Welcome to another live stream. We almost didn't make it tonight. There was, as you may have gathered from the late start, there was a little bit of technical difficulties right as everything started to kick off. Basically, I pressed the button to go live and immediately all my internet died, which meant I had to reset everything and try and get everything working again in a very short amount of time. So apologies for the late start, but we're here now. We are running completely on just Wi-Fi at the moment, so this might just sort of die unexpectedly at some point. So if that does happen, my apologies, but that's why it's happening, because for some reason the Ethernet cable that I was using has just stopped working. So everything's on Wi-Fi today. But I mean, it was all going to plan, wasn't it? I had everything set up nicely in advance. I wasn't in the situation where I was building the railway, as the live stream started. I thought, oh, this would be brilliant. I've got everything set up. All the cameras are ready to go, everything's plugged in, ready to go. All I need to do is press, go live, press the button, and it all stopped working. So, there we go. Anyway, before I get too ahead of myself, this live stream is to celebrate hitting 1,500 subscribers on the channel, which is incredible. I mean, it seems like it was only a couple of weeks ago that we were celebrating hitting 1,000 subscribers on the channel. And to be quite honest, that's because it was only a couple of weeks ago that we had a live stream to celebrate just that. So yeah, thank you everybody who has been subscribing, whether you're a brand new subscriber who has subscribed in the last couple of weeks, or whether you've been here from the start, from when I started this channel way back eons ago, what it feels like now. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed, everybody who is watching. Do let me know in the chat, by the way, if everything is working okay. I do say this at the beginning of every stream because obviously I'm a bit busy running trains and monitoring the cameras and everything. But if I don't sound right, or if you can't hear anything, or if everything keeps dropping out, do let me know in the chat and I'll keep trying to update it as I go along. But yes, as you can see, we are back on the modular layout. I hope you all enjoyed the video I put up on Sunday, which showed me building these new station modules. Which you'll be seeing a little bit more of today. But yes, fantastic that it's fantastic that everyone has enjoyed that video so much. It's gone down really well. I mean, it's had something like 3,000 views, I think, in the space of like, I don't know, like a couple of days or something. So it's incredible. And also, because I hadn't released it the last time I did a live stream, the live steam mallard video as well has gone down incredibly well. I think that's now one of my most popular videos, if not my most popular video of all time, and it's only been out a few weeks. So thank you so much to everybody who has been watching that. If you decided to subscribe because you saw that video, then thank you very much. We're very glad to have you here. And yeah, so we're going to run some trains tonight. I watched back my last stream, the 1,000 subscriber live stream, and I realised that I did quite a lot of talking and not nearly enough running trains. So I'm not going to do as much checking the chat and stuff tonight. And do feel free to talk amongst yourselves and keep the conversation going, and I will look back at them later. But I'm going to try and focus as much as I can on running trains and keeping things interesting on the layout tonight, rather than responding to everything. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. If, though, you really do want to get my attention for any particular reason, or if you just happen to want to support me in any way, you can now use the super chat button at the bottom. If you're looking at the when you're typing in a comment, there should be a little sort of button with what looks like a $sign on it, and if you click that, you can donate a little bit to the channel. And it just, I mean, it's totally up to you. There's no pressure to do it at all. But if you do fancy, I think think of it as like a little tip if you want to. So yeah, I've got some sort of stuff kind of set up for that. I'm not entirely sure if it works though, because no one's donated to the channel yet, so we'll see. But yes, I thought I would just mention that in case anyone does feel like supporting the channel. Like I said, absolutely no pressure at all, but very much appreciated if anyone does want to do that. Right, so without further ado, I can see everyone in the chat. I'm sort of keeping a little bit of an eye on it. So hello everybody. I'm not going to read you all your names individually because I'll be here all night otherwise, but there seems to be a lot of you. Let's just have a quick, oh blimey, there's, right, it says there's over 60 of you in the chat, or watching along. That's incredible. I think that's the highest number we've ever had for a live stream. So that we've broken records already. Right, enough chat. Let's run a train. We've got some nice shots tonight as well. I've updated the camera views from last time because I was running out of cameras last time. I fixed all the cameras. We've got a little bit of a dodgy. This is the only dodgy shot, which you can kind of see. It's a little bit blurry, especially over by the sheds, but it does give us an excuse to sort of zoom in as the Peckett starts moving. So we can see this is coming out now. And this Peckett is normally my best runner, but earlier on today it suddenly had a bit of a wobbly. It suddenly decided it didn't want to run particularly well. So yeah, not sure what was going on there, but hopefully it's all fine now. Oh no, it stopped on the points. There we go. Yeah, you will see as well as I get as we run more and more trains that things aren't quite all as good as they seem on the layout. The double slip points in particular. Sorry, let me stop the train. It's running away from me. The double slip points. Most engines are fine getting over this. There's a couple that really don't like it. This Sentinel here is proving to be a little bit of a tricky guy, but yeah, he wasn't the best runner on DC anyway, so I'm not entirely sure why I decided to DCC fit it. I think I sort of DCC fit it in the hope that that maybe it would work a little bit better. But yeah, so far that hasn't happened. But yeah, the Peckett for the most part on the best of times actually is working all right. So we'll set him off now. He's got a rake of the Mark 1 coaches. In case you didn't know, this railway is based. Oh, it doesn't want to do these. I hope this isn't going to happen all through the live stream. What was I saying? Something about the Peckett. Oh well. Anyway, that's the thing. Oh yes, the railway is loosely based on a heritage railway. So you can kind of see this. We're going into the scenic bit now. So you can see, hopefully this is a nicer shot, and you can actually just see in the distance a bit of the fiddle yard, and I've just realised that everything is in the way in the fiddle yard, so I'm going to have to do a bit of shifting around. So yes, first train of the evening. We've got plenty more to go on. I've got more than just 2 locos set up for DCC now as well, by the way, so I don't know if you saw my community post that I put out earlier today, but we've got a few extra things going on. I think the first one will run though, just for a bit of fun, and also because I've actually done a bit of work on it. We'll get the schools class out, shall we? Because I had that running. Oh, Sammy B Films has just donated £5. Thank you so much, Sammy. That's amazing. I kind of was hoping that a little thing would pop up on screen, but it's not happened on my end, which is disappointing. I'm really sorry about that. But yes, oh, he's saying, did this work? If so, you can put it towards some scenery for you guys. Oh, thank you very much. It did indeed work. Unfortunately, it's not come through. There was supposed to be like a little alert that pops up on the channel, and I don't know why that hasn't happened. So I'm really, really sorry about that. I guess I'll have to. It's kind of difficult to test when you don't have. You can't. I don't think I can send stuff in myself. So yeah, I'll have to work on that for next time and figure it out. But thank you very much, Sammy. You're the very first person to ever send me a super chat. So thank you for that. And as a thank you for that, let's run the schools class now. I know I was going to do it anyway, but we'll turn the sound on as well. So here it comes. The schools class is just coming under the bridge. There's a little bit of a delay on the screen, so it's coming now. You can probably hear it, to be honest. There you go, give you a little bit of a whistle, Sammy. And here it is, just coming around the curve now. This is just the TTS sound in here, so it's nothing too fancy, but it keeps me entertained. And this has got the what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. I'll figure it out when the train stops. I'm a bit busy controlling the trains at the moment. It's coming into the station now. There you go, another camera angle for you. There we go. We've successfully run a train in. I still haven't got uncoupling and everything. So do you know, I'm going to switch the sound off just for the moment while I talk to you guys. But yes, lots of people saying they like the schools class. Cameron S says, "Is that a schools class without the smoke deflectors?" Indeed, it is. I believe, and you're going to see the hand of God here just while I do some uncoupling with the carriages and everything. I just want to. I was rather hoping to see. I'm using a little. Oh, you can't see it on it. Oh, am I? No. There you go. If I do that, you can see this is my little bit of wire that I've bent into a coupling hook because I don't have any uncoupling on this layout yet. Yeah, Cameron S was saying it's not got the smoke deflectors. That's correct. I believe they were originally built without the smoke deflectors and then added later on. So this is technically a schools class in the original condition. I don't know if one has ever been preserved in this way. So we'll have to see if that is the case. Oh, I've turned the sound off. Let's turn the sound back on. We're just running this into the run round loop now. I know it's a bit blurred on the screen for you, but there we go. We'll flip the points and then we'll run the train back through. So this is pretty typical of a heritage railway, sort of, you know, bringing some carriages in, a passenger train in, and then running it through, or running it round the run round loop rather. So you can see the engine running around the carriages now. Oh, it's lovely to see it up close like that, isn't it? And hopefully you can see it just starting to come into shot now. Yeah, see, the nice thing is the tender engines, because they've got a lot of nice pickups, they don't need to worry about the double slip so much. Actually, we can just see that on the blurred shot there, and you'll see my hand come in to flip the points there. Apologies about that. Oh no, I think I still need that one there. Right, let's get this coupled back up to these coaches then, shall we? We'll go back to the wide shot, it's just a little bit easier. And less blurry as well. Cameron S says, run a train in on the other platform before the schools departs. Oh, you know, yeah, we can do that, I think. I might just have to sort of nudge the carriages back a bit, or push them forwards a bit, because I don't think there's enough space for the schools to fit in the run round loop. But we'll do that, we'll do that. There you go, he's connected up now. We'll just keep pushing him a bit so it clears the points. There we go, that'll be enough. Right, I'm going to turn the sound off just for a moment, just so you can hear me speak a bit more. Right, what shall I run in next then? I've got lots of ideas of what I could run in. Tell you what, let's have a bit of fun, and we'll as we're waiting, it must be a high day on the railway today because there's lots of trains running. But tell you what, let's bring the packet back in. So I'm just running him round the other side of the coaches in the fiddle yard now. Get that all set up, and hopefully you should see it coming into this shot fairly soon. He's on his way. You can just see, you can see a little bit of the fiddle yard just back here. If I wave my hand, hello, this is the fiddle yard. You can actually just see the Mark 1 coaches sort of moving around. I do hope I haven't missed any super chats, by the way. No, I've just had a look. It's just that one from Sammy. Again, thank you, Sammy, so much for the super chat. That's really kind of you, mate. And here comes the Peckett now. I've no idea if a Peckett would actually be able to manage Mark 1 coaches like this, but for my purposes, it can. So, so here it comes now. How is it going to do with the double slip? Is it going to be all right? Is it going to work? Oh, do you know what? It's just about done it. There we go. coming through into platform 2 now, and we'll just move to that shot. There we go. Now the tricky thing will be, I want to make sure that the carriages, you can still see enough of the schools class for when that leaves. So I've run the packet quite a long way down there, but you can just about see the schools class there, and I'll flip the points back to the correct direction. AR Production says, "Do you have your J36?" Yes, I do actually. We'll get the J36 out in a bit, shall we? We'll I think because that's got quite a fun rake on it, so we'll run that in on its own. So we'll get rid of these 2 trays first. We'll dispatch these 2 trays. That's what the proper railway people say, isn't it? So right, here is the schools class. There we go. And so last week I didn't have a front coupler on this engine, so I could only run trains in. I couldn't run them back out again. Tom Ward says, "Who cares? It's your railway." I suppose that's in response to the whether a Peckett could manage 3 carriages. Yes, it's very true. It is my railway. I can do what I want. Oh, I've switched to that shot a bit early, but here it comes. One thing I do like about having the wide baseboards on the curved modules like this, because they are quite large, but it means you do get a lot of depth when you look at them like this. I'm hoping in the future as well that I might be able to get a few extra cameras so that we can have even more shots on the layout. There we go. Carriages disappearing under the bridge now, just off in the distance. And I've just turned the sound off as well now that the engine's off the layout, so it's not being too obnoxious. Actually, it's just occurred to me. Can you still hear the sound on the live stream when the oh, hello, that's interesting. That bit of track doesn't want to work for some reason. Oh, it's because I've switched the points in the opposite direction. That'd be why. Yeah, can you still hear the engine on the schools class on the live stream when I faff around with the microphone? Because the microphone is pointing in the opposite direction. So, yeah. I don't know if it actually picks up everything on the curve. Right, anyway, enough chat. Let's go back to... There's not a lot you can actually see in this shot. I mean, the Peckett is there somewhere. Yeah, let's see. I'll try and do this quickly, but you might be able to see it just sort of appearing in the head shunt. If I run it all the way up into the head shunt, although it's still quite blurry up there, so yeah, you can just about see it, but not really. So yeah, so like I say, it'd be nice to have a few more cameras just to, we can have one on the bridge, we can have one on the head shunt. I think for the most part, the difficulty is just getting everything wired up really and making it all consistent. You can see all the, technical, or hear about all the technical problems that I've had throughout the day, or rather in the last 5 minutes when we were trying to get the stream on. Blimey, it's already 8 o'clock. How did that happen? The time flies. Sammy B Film says, yes, I can hear it. There you go, a little quiet when you walk around a bit. Yeah, when I walk down to the head shunt, I'm quite far away from the microphone at that point, so I do try and shout a bit, but doing it for a while can be a bit tiresome. Right, we'll bring the Peckett back in. We'll couple him up to these trains, and then we'll have this guy leave. And then someone wanted to see the J36, which I can't remember your name. Sorry, whoever suggested it. Thank you for the suggestion. There we go. Nice smooth cut. Well, it was all right. Right. Let's dispatch this train then, shall we? And then we'll get the J36 out. So here we go. The Peckett again with its with its rake of Mark 1 coaches. Oh, and it's just paused there slightly. That's right on the. It's right on the join between the 2 baseboards there. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm just going to give it a little nudge. Oh, do you know what? Actually, it helps if I turn the controller up a bit. If I give it enough power to actually move, that helps generally. Right. So, if anyone's wondering, by the way, these coaches that I'm using, these are Hornby Mark Ones from the Hogwarts Express coach, from the Hogwarts Express pack. So, if you look very carefully on them, which I admit you can't actually do at the moment because they're disappearing from view. But if you look carefully on them, the little crest on the side is the Hogwarts Railways logo. Or is it Hogwarts Railways, or is it just Hogwarts Express or something like that? It's very similar to the British Railways one, though, isn't it? So yeah. But I do keep thinking I probably should end up with what was I talking about? Sorry, I do keep getting distracted. I keep looking at trains running and I keep going, oh, that's nice. Oh yes, I keep thinking I should probably get some proper Mark 1s at some point, but these ones are good for the moment. They work very nicely. Sammy B Film says, maybe put that £5 towards a lav mic instead. Yes, that's a very good point. I don't know. Yeah, I have to dig out. You'd have to get a wireless one, wouldn't you, of some sort? Otherwise, if I move around, I'd end up just strangling myself, wouldn't I, every time I turn around? Right, anyway, let's get the J76 out because somebody wanted to see that. So we'll stay on this shot for a bit. And you might just be able to see that in the background on the fiddle yard. Actually, no, you can't, can you? I promise you, though, it is coming. And it's got quite a special rake behind it, or one that I particularly like. Anyway, here it comes now, just under the bridge. And I'm praying, this loco was a little, it didn't like some of the bumps and the curves on the layout earlier on, so I need to do a bit of adjusting. But you can see it's got a nice rake of the Hornby teak coaches behind it, which is really nice. And actually, I've just realised that I've running the train in and the points are not set, so I should probably do that, shouldn't I? So we'll slow it down as it comes in. Does look good with this. I know technically it's a goods engine, isn't it? But oh well. Ooh. Trying to switch shots and control trains at the same time is interesting, to say the least. Oh, the teak coaches do look good in that shot there, don't they? They look very nice, if I do say so myself. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to go on these boards so far. You know, like scenery of any kind. Here comes the shunter's pole again, just to get that uncoupled. It's a handy little device, actually. I mean, you know, considering, you know, I know I've done a big video on uncoupling anyway, using my little plastic strips. And if you haven't seen that video, by the way, do go and have a look at it because it's a decent video, I think. It's the first one I ever made that really sort of took off, and that was back in September last year. And I'm just sort of running the J36 into the head shunt now. It's a lovely smooth run of this one. Yeah, but the invisible uncoupling video that I made was the first one that sort of people really started to take notice of. You know, before that point, I was just, you know, a weirdo making videos about his model railway, and now I'm still a weirdo making videos about his model railway. But lots of people watch me now, so that's really the only difference. But yes, here it comes back through the not the reverse loop, passing loop. There we go. Although I suppose, is it really a passing loop if it's if it's a terminus station? Probably not, I suspect, but I'm going to call it that anyway. Here it comes out. I do love the sort of the sense of scale you get when these things go past on that camera. It's running very slowly, so there's a bit of a delay here as it comes in. So you can kind of get a sense of how long the loop is as well. I do hope I've set the points correctly here. So Luke Rothwell says, wait, the channel is almost at 2,000. Indeed it is, yes. I sort of felt I had to do the 1,500 stream before we got to 2,000, so otherwise I'd be cheating you out of a stream. Right, let's do that, and we'll get this coupled up here. Hopefully there's enough room so that we can get everything. We can get another engine of some sort out on the layout before this one departs. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I just remember this has got a bit of a dodgy coupler on the front, so hopefully the coupling will be okay. We might need to take it very slowly here. Yeah, that kind of worked. Actually, it would have been better if it wasn't sitting right on the join between the baseboards, but that's probably down to my dodgy planning more than anything else. Right, let's get another loco out, shall we? In complete contrast to the J36, let's have something completely different. And it's now coming under the bridge. I don't really know what my plan is with this one. I've got it set up because I feel like it, but there's a high chance that this one could derail, so we'll see what happens here. Hopefully you can see it just coming around the bend now. And as you can see, it is the Ruston 48DS with a couple of coal wagons. Lovely little loco this. One of my best runners. That and the Peckett are some of the best runners I have, especially considering how small they are. I know that the Southern Railway brake van probably isn't particularly prototypical for it, but who cares? Cameron S says double header. Yeah, that would be nice. I haven't got that set up in the software yet, but I will have to get around to doing that at some point. So I'm just going to bring this into platform 2 here. Again, I don't really know what my plan here is. I just sort of brought it in because I thought it would be fun, but there we go. And in case you're wondering, the wagons are the Dapple mineral wagon kits, and the coal. I've done a video on making those, so if you're interested in that, do go and have a look at that because it was good fun to make. And I sort of feel like the instructions aren't necessarily, well, they're not terrible for these kits, but they could be a bit better. And so I sort of feel like my my video on the making of those wagons sort of acts as a little bit of a helping hand. Not a complete guide, but you know, if you're thinking of building one and but you haven't actually got the kit yet, and you don't know whether you want to know whether you're going to waste your money or not, I do think it's you know, a handy video for that. Also the coal that I've got in the top of them as well. I've done a video on making the coal loads for that as well. This is just turning into me promoting all my own videos, isn't it? Which I suppose is fine, considering that this is my channel and everything. So, and you guys all generally seem to love that. What's everyone saying? Oh, there's lots of comments about the Ruston. Luke Rothwell says, I'm going to save up for the new... he says Huston, but I presume that means the Ruston that Hornby's releasing. Yeah, I think I'm going to... I mean, the... is it the Scottish one? The one in the NBR, it's almost like yellow, is it? I don't know if it's yellow or orange. I might just have a dodgy computer screen. But that looks fantastic, doesn't it? And I have absolutely no reason to own one of those, especially considering I've got this one. But then, you know, I might just go for it. Lots of other people saying... oh, Evening Star 92 says, yeah, I have the Queen Anne Ruston. It's tiny but heavy. It is indeed. I think it's mostly made of metal, isn't it? So hopefully Hornby will do that with the new one that's coming out. So, yeah. Theory Raj says, are you going to use those invisible uncoupling things on the modular layout? No, I'm not. I have a bit of a plan for that. Because I thought, you know, as much as this is me making my own railway, I do sort of kind of want to keep producing content for you guys and videos for you guys. And I sort of think it would be a bit boring if I just did the same thing over and over again, but on a bigger scale. So... I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, annoyingly, because I want to save it as a surprise for the video. But I'm hoping that it might be that it's not too far down the line. There's still quite a long way to go on this section of the layout so far, before I start getting to scenery and stuff. So you know, here there's supposed to be an inspection pit. There's going to be an inspection pit in the shed as well, hopefully at some point. So I still need to do all that. There's a lot of electrical stuff that needs to be done. At the moment, this layout will only run in DCC mode, which basically means every single part of the track is live at the moment. And so, tell you what, while I talk about this, we'll run the J36 out with the teep coaches. I've only got 3 of the teep coaches on today, just because of the platform length, or the loop length rather. But you can just about get 4 in here, but yeah, I do have 4 of them, as you may have seen in the live Steam Mallard video that I did. So let's go to this shot. Right, everyone cross your fingers that the J36 gets round this bend without derailing. Because when it's travelling backwards round this bend, for some reason it doesn't like it sometimes. But it's not consistent. It's one of those really annoying problems where you think it... I mean, I'm talking about it now. It's already gone past the point of where it's working. But yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Nobody worry. But it's one of those really annoying problems where it's difficult to troubleshoot because it works like 90% of the time, and then like 10% of the time it just suddenly derails, and it's difficult to troubleshoot because you can never consistently get it to you can never really consistently get it to work or to not work, I suppose. Anyway, there goes the J36. I'm sure that'll be back later on in the stream as well. I just saw Matthew Ford said, is the shed going to be modern? Yes, the shed is going to be modern. Actually, that gives me a good excuse to use that shot, although you can't really see. It's a bit blurry. But if I go to this one, it's further away, but you can kind of see a bit more of it. But yes, the shed is going to be modern. I quite like the idea that the... I think it sort of makes it stand out more as a heritage railway if I do have a modern shed, because it's sort of like... Otherwise, it could just be a... it could just sort of be a period sort of set in the 1950s or something. So I've got this kit. This is a Gauge Master Fordhampton loco sheds or loco depot kit, something like that. So I haven't actually built it yet. I mean, what you can see there is literally it's blue tacked together at the corners. If you looked at the, if you saw the video that I made last Sunday, the what do you call it? The building a modular, the latest one of the. In the modular series where I showed you how me doing all of this stuff. I showed you some shots of how I just blue tacked it all together, and that was literally just so I knew where the two roads that go into the shed had to be. So yes. So Shadow Architect says, is this railway going to be a heritage line or... Oh, well, I just got that idea. Right, okay, so yes. So you got your question answered as I was answering the question on the stream. And then I saw your question after answering it, and we're in a loop now, so yeah. Right, I need to figure out what I'm going to do next. I think we should do something with this Ruston, because that's kind of just sitting there. So, let's use the carriage sidings a bit, because we haven't really used those so far. Right, let me... Now, the Ruston is in the opposite direction to everything else, so I've got to remember to... not do what I think I'm doing. Matthew Ford says an older shed would have been nice, but you can always change it. Yes, that is one of the things as well. Is that it I'm not intending it to be sort of like a permanent fixture, because this is a modular layout. The vast majority of the buildings and stuff are going to have to sort of be removable so that it can be packed away. So yes, I think there is certainly an option for in the future being able to run this in a more sort of prototypical way, shall we say. And I would like to do some sort of, a video in the future in some way where I kind of, almost do it as a prototypical running session. Right, the Ruston is now into the carriage sidings with its rake train, with its little goods train there. Karen S says, "Is the Ruston going on shed?" No, it's just going into the carriage sidings for the moment. I say carriage sidings, they're not really long enough for carriages, but they're the railway that I based this on, loosely, admittedly, calls them carriage sidings, and so that's sort of what I thought we'd go for. Right, let's run another train, shall we? We'll do another passenger train, because that's what everyone wants to see. Right, I'm going to take a bit of a risk here. I'm going to run an engine that isn't particularly... Oh, do you know what? Right, well, I was just going to say, I was going to run an engine now, and I am still going to try and run it. I'm trying to get the... Right, you might be able to see me faffing around with on the live stream. There we go. I'm trying to get the lights on in these carriages. I've got the Hornby 6-wheel coaches going on, coupled up to this engine, and the lights didn't want to come on them for some reason, but they're all good now. Right, let's get this engine going. Now, as I was saying, this one is a bit of a unknown quantity. Well, no, it is a known quantity. It doesn't like the points at all. So we're taking a bit of a risk here. It's not going to be able to do much shunting. I'm probably going to need to push it round the reverse loop. But here you can see, coming through into the shop now under the bridge, is the wonderful J72 from Bachmann with the Hornby LNER 6-wheel generic coaches behind it, and they have the lights on as well. Hopefully you can just about see those. I know it's sort of difficult when I've got all my big filming lights on. So yeah, it's a nice smooth runner, this one. It just doesn't like the points. I think actually it'll go over them sort of straight like this. Apart from that, no, it just doesn't like the points basically. So yeah, you can see it's having a real nightmare. So I don't know why. I thought initially it was just my bad track laying, but I'm not entirely sure now that's the case, because literally every other loco I have works fine on them. So yeah, it's a confusing one. The Terrier is a bit dodgy actually. So maybe we'll run the Terrier as well, just because, you know, we really want to make things difficult for ourselves. Right, flip those points. Let's get my shunter's pole out again. I have to admit, the nice thing about finally getting a DCC chip into this loco is that I can use the there's a firebox glow, which I admit you can't see on this shot at all. You might be able to see it when it comes around the reverse loop, but it's nice to have that. Oh, see, now it's stalled again. I don't know why. There we go, it's off now. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this loco. It was a really nice runner on DC, and it just, on DCC I'd heard really good things about them. People had said they just seem to get even better and even smoother when they've got a chip in them. So far I've not found that to be the case, which is really disappointing because I love this loco. It's a really, really nice loco, and yeah. Cameron S says the other option is fitting stay alives. Yes, I'm kind of waiting for someone to. Well, the only way, as far as I know at the moment, of fitting stay alives is kind of soldering onto DCC chips and all that and stuff. And so that's, my soldering is all right, but I don't really think I'm at that level yet. Right, let's see if we can get this to stop so that you can see the firebox glow. Oh, it's just the angle just isn't right. Oh, you can just about see it if I inch it forward. There you go. You can. No, it's literally like there's about 1 millimeter's worth of. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to push it. So we'll just do that. There you go. You can just about see that little glow in the cab there. I can turn it off by doing that. So it goes off and then it comes back on, and then it goes off again and then it comes back on. So yes. Just me having a bit of fun. So yes, I do like this. I do like this engine. I just wish it was slightly better on the points. So I don't know. Maybe the points are dodgy, and all my other locos are able to compensate, and the J72 just isn't. But as you'll see now, as I'll run it back around the rest of the loop. We'll leave this shot behind, and I'm going to go pretty fast here, just so that, in the hope that maybe that will stop it from stalling. Oh no! See, it just doesn't like this area at all. So yeah, so I have done a bit of experimenting with sort of trying to put bits of card under various bits of the points to try and lift it up in places in case it isn't quite perfectly flat. But if anyone has any suggestions on how I can remedy this. Ideally, without having to use a stay alive. I know that is the kind of thing that people often suggest. So it kind of made it over the points there, a little bit of a stutter, but but for the most part, it is a really nice little runner, right? And it's got quite fine control. So yeah, a little bit of a shame there. Right, what do we want to see now? I think I've shown you all the engines I've got. Oh no, tell you what, I know what we can do. Got an idea. I haven't checked the time at all, or how long we've been running for. So I will have a look at that, and I will have a look at the chat in a bit as well. I'm just currently faffing around with a loco in the fiddle yard because I've accidentally decoupled it from its tender, which was not helpful. There we go. Right, that's all coupled up now. I've just realised that this is going to be running into platform 2, so we'll see what happens with this. The GWR 060 says you could place a magnet under the bridge so as the coaches leave the fiddle yard and approach the station, the lights come on. Yes, I have heard other people sort of suggesting similar things to that as well. I think, didn't Simon Kohler actually mention that when he introduced these locos? Maybe he did, or maybe he didn't. Maybe I made that up. Sorry, the app has just crashed that I used to control the locos, so I'm just restarting it in the hope that it'll come back. It's all going wrong today, isn't it? Well, actually, I say that. For the most part, we've run a lot more trains than we normally get to. Part of that is thanks to you guys. The chat is moving so fast today that I can barely keep up with it. So thank you so much to everybody who is watching. It's coming up to 8:30 now. It's 8:20, and the schools class might just be able to see is coming back round the line now. I think we'll go for another half an hour at least. I think, just because I started a bit late and I'm enjoying myself, and you guys seem to be enjoying yourselves as well. How many of you guys are still here? There's 53 viewers. Fantastic! Thank you so much to everybody who is tuning in. And I do need to remember to switch that shot. So hopefully this will all fit in the loop okay. I don't actually know if it will, but it's also coming into, there's platform 2 as opposed to platform 1, so fingers crossed everybody. It seems to be working though. There we go. And I'm just going to try and I'm just trying to get the end of the coach to clear the J72. You can just about see the J72 in this shot still. Victorian Revolt says, will you be keeping it manual points or electric? The plan is to go for electric points eventually. I've never had a layout with motorised points before, so I would quite like to do that. And I just need to flip that point there as he makes the point of... But yes, essentially, I just haven't got round to fitting the motors yet. If you haven't been keeping up with the videos, or if this is your first time watching a live stream or on the channel, this part of the layout is very new, which is why there's no scenery or anything on it. So yeah, it's literally only been built like a week or two ago at this point. So there are holes under... Oh, see, it doesn't like that point again, does it? Go on, keep going. There we go. It does make you wonder why I chose to run this engine now, doesn't it? So yes, but it does look quite good disappearing off into the distance there, doesn't it? He says as he switches the shot. It blends in. The green kind of blends in almost though, doesn't it? So yes, what was I saying? Oh yeah, basically I would quite like to have a railway, because this is quite a major project for me. This is my first sort of proper model railway, as I keep saying. I would like to use the... oh, it's stalled on the points in the fiddle yard now. That's a new one. Yeah, going to have to look at that J72. Anyway, yes, I would like to motorise the points, and I sort of have done the... you know, the holes are drilled underneath. There's just no motors fitted to the underside. So a little bit of work to do there, but, you know, I'll figure it out eventually. Right, let's go back to this shot, this weird sort of blurry thing I've got going on, and we'll get the Terrier out, shall we? Right, this is another one, it doesn't like the points. Not quite as bad as the J72, although I say that and now I suspect it'd probably be even worse, so yeah, I'm just tempting fate, aren't I? Although actually, it's not working too bad. He says that and the engine stops. Brilliant. Oh, it's not working. It's not happy, is it? Right. Maybe I do need to figure out something to do with these points then. But we'll couple up to these carriages here, and these ones we can send these on their way at some point. I do need to decouple the schools class from the end of this train though, so I'm not entirely keen on top and tailing too much. Especially before I've got things set up. Lazy Turtle says, the stopping is very inconsistent, so I think it may be dirt on the point blades or the engine's wheels. Might also have a look at the pickups also. Yes, I have done that. So the wheels of both the J72 and also the Terrier, which you can see in the shop now, they've both been cleaned. I cleaned those yesterday in a hope that that might solve it all. And it didn't make any difference as far as I could see. The track, I've been over it with the track rubber. I've tried, what's this, I can't remember what it's called, IPA, that stuff. Is it IPA? The stuff that the liquid, the alcohol liquid that you run your rails and it cleans them. I've tried that as well. So yeah, a little bit of a puzzling one if I'm honest. And like I say, I'd be more, it's difficult because not every engine has a problem with it. It's literally just these two, demonstrated quite nicely there by the Terrier, coming to an abrupt stop on these points. So thanks for that. And again, there we go. Yeah. So really doesn't like these points. So probably not a good idea to run that too much. I mean, we could just go for the full shebang at this point and get the Sentinel going as well, because the Sentinel really, I mean, yeah, that one is a really tricky runner. It doesn't like, well, it doesn't like any track at all as far as I can tell. Mind you, I'll have to clear the schools class first though, so because that's still sitting in the loop at the moment. But yeah, the Terrier is absolutely fine on, I was going to say it's absolutely fine on all the other bits of the track, and it just stopped in front of me. So clearly what I need to do is just not talk about it, and then everything works fine. So yeah, we'll stop that one there. And then let me go back to this shot here where you can see the back end of the schools class. We'll run that nice and slowly back past the camera because... Should we go into the sheds with this one? Let's put this one in the sheds because I like the idea of that. I've said it was going to run slowly. I didn't quite mean that slowly. Let's increase it a little bit. There we go. Just backing past the camera here. It's a gorgeous model, this. I remember that was the first loco I got that cost me over £100, or I think it was £99 when I bought it. And I remember thinking at the time, wow, that's a really expensive engine. It's got to be good, and it is good. Don't get me wrong. It's got a die-cast boiler actually as well, so the boiler is actually metal on it, which is a really nice feature. Lovely loco, very delicate though. There's lots of very little intricate details on it. But yes, of course, at the time I thought, that's a really expensive loco, and of course now I don't think there's many tender engines you can get that are under £100. Maybe the... Ooh, I just looked at the clearance there as it went into the shed, and that was a bit tight. Maybe the stuff from Hornby Railroad and stuff like that. That might be a little bit more. Right, we're gonna try running the Sentinel here. No, we're not. This really doesn't enjoy running. We might have to go quite fast with this one. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to cut my losses and not attempt to run that one. I think that's tempting fate just a bit too much. Oh, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to have to attempt to pronounce this name now. Radoslaw Socha. I'm sorry, I've absolutely butchered your name there. I hope I've got that right, or I've at least got it close to right. But thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome of you. Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, I was really hoping that things would pop up on screen. I had all these alerts, like I said. I spent all of yesterday making these alerts that would pop up on screen when people did a super chat. And for some reason, it's not working. So it was more to kind of alert me when stuff happens. But thank you so much. That's really very much appreciated. Like I say, if anyone else does want to leave a super chat, it is very much always appreciated. Never required, of course. But if you do, my endless thanks go out to you because, as I'm sure you know, model railways aren't cheap, and especially it takes quite a lot of work and effort to make these videos and stuff. You should put ha 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 with a smiley face underneath. I'm assuming that's in relation to me butchering your name. I do apologise about that. But again, thank you so much for the super chat. It is very much appreciated. Do let me know if there's anything you want to see out of the engines. I mean, I think I've shown all the engines that I have available at the moment, but if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, do let me know. Right, let me run another engine, shall I? What shall I do? We'll bring the Peckett back in, shall we? Because, oh no, I tell you what we'll do. Let's get the Ruston out, because I like the Ruston, and that's a good runner. So, yeah, should we try and, we'll attempt to do a little bit of shunting, shall we? Is that too ambitious? Right, I'm going to faff around with the brake van that's on the end of this for the moment. Actually, I think that might have been a bad thing to do. No, never mind. We'll just run this out. Okay, right. Let's run the Ruston back out onto into platform 2 for the moment. Chris Hamilton says, awesome work being done here. Love watching the channel. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. That really means a lot. We love having you here too. And hopefully you'll see the Ruston coming into shot there. There we go, and we'll just stop it a bit closer to the camera this time because I kind of stopped it a bit too far down the loop previously. Matthew Ford says yes for shunting. Just and on the main line says go for it, mate. Just don't kill your locos. Yeah, we'll have a go. We'll have a go at some shunting. Right, what do I want to do? I think I want to get that brake van on the end of the train and then run it out. So first I'm going to have to decouple, or uncouple rather, the Ruston. So here comes the big shunting pole again. I'm just going to, the couplings on these Dapple wagons do have a tendency to stick, which wasn't particularly helpful there. That one feels quite light as well. So I need to put the weight back in that probably, because I must have been messing around with it for a video. And so let's get. We'll run we'll run the Ruston round the run round loop. As you can see, it goes off into the blurry distance there, and you get a nice shot of the corner of a mineral wagon. I think that's just because of the camera I'm using. It just has a fixed focus, so it can only really focus on one thing at a time rather than worrying about too many things all at once. But the Ruston is coming back now. Tom Ward says J94 perhaps. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Evening Star says what about the J94? Yeah. Lots of people saying they want to see a J94. Maybe we'll have to run that then at some point. The only thing is I don't have any of the none of the J94s have got a DCC chip in them yet, so I'll have to take all the locos off the track and run just the J94 at one go, at one point, or on its own rather, because none of them have decoders in it. Oh no, this is sticking on the points. Right, there must be something dodgy with the points, because if even the Ruston is having trouble with them, it's clearly not the loco's fault. It's my dodgy track laying. So, right, this is going to be a bit difficult to see because it's right in the blind spot of the camera, which wasn't smart of me. But the Ruston is currently coupling up to that little brake van that I had on the end of this, and I'm just going to uncouple that now. And what I'm sort of planning to do is run that all the way back around the loop again, and hopefully what I shall do, hopefully you'll see it coming back through the shot now. There we go. So we'll put that at the other end of the loop and then couple the Ruston up to the wagons. Does this really count as shunting? Hopefully it does. Oh, I know, I've got something else I can try and do. Maybe. I don't think it... Oh no, actually that won't work. I'm not good at doing shunting on the fly, that's the only thing. If I haven't planned it out, I'm terrible at it. I've filmed the video, which I need to get around to editing really. I filmed it quite a while ago now. I say a while ago, it was a week or two ago. But I need to get around to editing it. I filmed a video on doing an Inglenook, the Inglenook shunting puzzle and all that. And so I really need to sort that out at some, release that at some point. Right, I think I can just put that there, can't I? Yeah, that'll do. Let's get the shunters pole out again. This brake van is actually really nice from Hornby. I know it's the wrong colour. Everyone will shout at me now because they've painted it in the wrong brown. It's supposed to be a darker brown, I think, isn't it? But I like it all the same. My excuse for it is because this is a heritage railway. The heritage railway just painted it in the wrong brown. They painted it in whatever brown they had lying around in the sheds. So that's my excuse. And presumably the Preservation Society had there was as much fury from the rest of the Preservation Society as there was from everybody online to Hornby. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just couple up to these wagons. I'll run back into platform 2, couple up to these wagons, and then we'll run everything out, couple back onto the brake van, and then I'll flip these points, and then we'll send the Ruston on its way. And then shall we run? We'll run a J94 because everyone wants to see one apparently, and because I mean, let's face it, it's not a heritage railway unless there's a J94 somewhere, is there? So you know, I've got to kind of play up to it a bit, haven't I? Right, I'm sorry, it's right in the dead spot again because of how I've parked these wagons. I parked them so that you could see the Ruston in the other shop, but yeah, I've not been particularly smart about that, have I? Oh well, here it is. It's coming now. I've just coupled it up. So yeah, still quite a lot of testing to be done and figuring out little minor points and stuff. I say minor points, quite major points with some of the stalling on the actual points. Yeah, I do need to figure that out. But that's kind of why I'm taking my time with this. I don't want to rush into doing any scenery before I've figured out why things are not working properly. So yeah, I'm sure some of you will have plenty of suggestions for me, which I'll go back and look at the comments later. Because as I say, every time I look over at the comments, it's, you know, stuff is happening very, very quick. You know, it's too fast for me to, you know, keep track of, really. Right, got to remember to actually look at the engine and not do it on the screen, because if I have this horrible habit of looking at the engine on the screen. Oh, that's quite a nicely framed shot. If I just do that, yeah, that's a nicely framed shot there, isn't it? Although the brake van hasn't actually coupled. It is quite light, I will say that. So yeah. Well, do you know what I have to say? I'm very impressed that the live stream has kept going. Because I really thought that we'd drop out at some point, especially when I was having all those troubles trying to get this started off at the beginning of the stream, and it just wouldn't run at all. No idea what that was, but it's all worked fine since then. So yeah, I say that, and now probably it'll crash, won't it? Oh well, at least we've not crashed any trains. So yeah, right, we have our train set up now, so we can send it on its way. There we go, the Southern brake van looking rather nice there. So we'll run this train, and then what I'll do is I'll do a sort of a quick sweep around the layout and get all the engines off. And then we'll switch. I'll try and switch over to DC just for a bit. Or maybe I should do that right at the end of the stream. Oh no, we'll do it now, because by the time I get it set up and we run a few trains, that will be the end of the stream. So there we go. That's the Ruston 48DS running off into the distance, round the loop. Where's this going? Oh, it's going into there. And keep an eye on all the fiddle yards points as well. So yeah, that will be one handy thing when when everything gets ready. Oh, I haven't switched that point properly. Oh, and I didn't switch that one properly either. Right, let's get this in then. Right, okay, now it's just stalled on that point. Great, right, so we have that into there. Oh, do you know what? I had a shot, I had a nice shot which I haven't used at all. I had this. I did all that. You can see a little bit of me in this shot as well, so you can kind of see me down here. Hello. Yeah, I should have just been using this all the time because you can see everything going on that way now. Right, well, I'm going to do a quick sweep around and just sort of quickly get all the engines off the layout and see if I can grab a J94 because several of you have asked to see one. So I'm just currently getting all the, I've realised I'm quite a long way from the microphone. The other thing about this as well is that the DC controller has to be plugged in where the DCC controller is plugged in, which is on the other side of the room, which means I will have to stand quite a long way away from the microphone. Yes, I see someone, the Evening Star 92 says, this Heritage line needs a DMU. Indeed it does. I would love to get one of the Bachmann, what are they called? The 117, is it? The 117? But I have to admit, I prefer DMUs with the yellow, you know, in the sort of the lighter green with the yellow panels as opposed to the speed whiskers. So I'm kind of waiting for them to make one of those because I'm sure they will at some point. Right, I'm just getting rid of the Sentinel there. You can see my hand appearing in all these different shots, and I'm gonna, yeah, what am I gonna do about the schools class? Tell you what, we'll actually run the schools class out of its shed there, shall we? If we're going to do this, we might as well go to one of the proper shots to see it. So that's just coming out of the shed now. Oh, that was a bit faster than I intended it to. We'll run it into that siding there. Oh, I very nearly overshot the end of the siding there. But thankfully I didn't. So we're just going to lift this off the track. And I'm going to sort of put this to one side and hope everything is all right. Okay, right. I hope I've got a J92, not a J92, a J94. Blimey, my brain's failing me at the moment. Let's see, what have I got? I've run quite a lot of green engines today, so maybe we should run a red one. Yeah, we'll do that, because I've got a red one hanging around here. And maybe as well, we'll finish up with a few other engines as well, just because I have them. The problem with this basically is because I can only run one at a time. Oh, yes, hang on. I just put the engine on the track and then realised that I haven't actually swapped it over to DCC yet, to DC yet. So, right, where's the DC controller? That's going to be the big question. Oh, there it is, right. It's down on the floor, everybody. It's right. Talk amongst yourselves while I sort this out. You're probably going to hear lots of crashing and banging in the background while I'm doing this. So yes, to those of you who asked me to run a J94 and wanted to see some DC running instead of the DCC stuff, you're getting your wish, but it's taken me quite a while to do it. I hope you can still hear me because I'm faffing around the background. Oh right, I have just realised that I need to unplug one of my lights in order to do this. I hope it's not too dark now on the stream because I've had to unplug that light, so I've got enough plugs to put everything in. Right, let's do that. I need to get that into there. I'm going to have to stand this far away in order to do this. Otherwise I can't control the thing. So hopefully that's fine on there. Okie doke. Right, well because I can't control everything, because I can't control the cameras, I've got everything set up on opposite sides of the room. I'm going to leave you on this shot here. We shall give this a go and see if it works. I really do hope it does now. Right. Here we go. Right. Fingers crossed, everybody. I've not tested this this loco. I've not tested any DC locos on the layout yet, so this is a first. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm shouting from the other side of the room now. It's a bit of a noisy one, this as well, but this is the this is number 22. Hopefully you can see it coming around the corner now on the stream. And it's about this point that I'm hoping that I've got all the points set up correctly. So I do like this engine. It's very nice. It reminds me of Waledale on the MC and Bolton Abbey Steam Railway, which is where I used to volunteer years and years ago. But yes, it reminds me of that loco. I believe this one is also preserved as well. I don't know where it is preserved. I'm sure someone in the comments will now tell me, but of course I can't see the comments because I'm on the other side of the room. Is it somewhere like Neen Valley or Anyway, it's in the station now. I'll just see if there's anyone on the thing. Right. Okie doke. So let me just uncouple this. We'll run it around the run round loop and then we'll run it back out. And we'll finish off with a bit more running, probably from the packet or something, just so that I can do a bit more proper running, shall we say. This is actually quite handy for me as well, because I am sort of testing everything as we go along here. So it's nice to know that the layout does work on DC as well. Although I suppose there's no reason why it shouldn't, because every single rail at this point is live. I do have the capability built into it to sort of be able to switch it from DC. Oh, hello. There's a thing that's popped up on my phone. What's happening here? Oh, I've got low battery, have I? That wasn't intended to happen. Right, sorry about that, everybody. Right, you can see that I was using my phone now for that shot. There we go. There's the thing going past. Right. Well, I hope that doesn't mean that that camera is going to die. I don't know why it would, because it's plugged in, so it shouldn't really. Oh, there we go. Right. So I might just have to do some faffing around with that camera a bit, which means we'll switch back to another shot. But it's all good, it's all fine. We're going to just run this. Oh no, I've got my things the wrong way around. Okie doke. Right. Yeah, that camera's not happy. For some reason it's not charging, and I don't know why. So that really needs to be sorted out. Oh, there we go. A little bit dodgy there with the camera, but I'm just going to switch to that shot there, because that camera has now officially died. Oh no, hang on, it hasn't. It's saying it's got 100% battery, but it refuses to charge. These are the sorts of things that I have to deal with, folks. It's stuff like that on a daily basis, and then trains stopping on points when they shouldn't. Go on, keep going. You did this a minute ago. You asked for it, folks. This was the test DC running portion. Right, we're going to flip back to DCC after this, because at least we can run some trains properly. Iron Horse Heathen says, do some train drifting. I think I know what you mean by that. You mean having the, putting the coaches spanning between two lines. I'm not sure I'm that brave yet. Right, I'm just running it back into the fiddle yard now, and then I'm going to swap everything back over to DC. And I'm just going to reset that camera as well. We've only got I'm only going to go for another 10 minutes, 10 minutes or so, but yeah, I'd like to finish on a high note rather than struggling with DC controllers and everything, so hopefully we'll end on a high. Right, let me unplug. Okay, a bit more crashing and banging then as I just unplug all the DC stuff, and then I plug the DCC controller back in. Right, I've got to make sure I get the wires around the right way, otherwise I'm going to cause a short circuit, which is not what I want to do at this point. Oh, and I've got to plug that light back in as well, haven't I? Bet you all thought, oh, this guy seems really professional initially, and then not quite so. So yeah, really confused as to why this camera has suddenly decided it really doesn't want to. Oh, I see now. Right. It's sort of charging, but not quite. Okay, right. I think I've sort of temporarily fixed that. Fingers crossed it works. But yeah, at least it's happened at the end of the stream and not right at the end. Iron Horse Heathen says, is the J94 a split chassis? Do you know, I don't think it is. I think I've heard that it is quite easy to fit a DCC chip into them. And that is my intention, that at some point I will do that. So, yeah, I will DCC them eventually. They don't have a socket, I know that. But I will get I will get some of them chipped eventually. I've got several of them, so it's worth giving it a go. And at the worst, I can always give it a shot afterwards. If it all goes horribly wrong, I can always just undo my work, hopefully. So you know. Right, I've got a train running again. Oh, I've just realised I put this on the same carriages that I was just running, but oh well. So we've got the Peckett coming back around the corner now. Hopefully you can all see that looking rather lovely there. Does anyone else want to see anything specific before the stream ends? We've got about 10 minutes. You can see it just coming past the sheds here. I hope I've got the points all set correctly. There we go. Well, I've just realised as I've switched to this shot again that it stopped working, so apologies about that. This camera has just decided to die on me. Really don't know why that is. Yeah, it's kind of working. If I do that, you can see all my gubbins on scroll, so they've disappeared now. But yeah, it really doesn't want to run that. Joe Chalice says he's just subscribed. Thank you so much, Joe. That's really awesome of you. Yeah, thank you so much. We're on the sort of the march towards 2,000 subscribers now, which is pretty incredible. Actually, I haven't checked where we are on this stream yet, but we've been going for quite a while, so I don't really want to mess around with anything because everything's mostly working at this point. So, but he says, love your videos. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. That's awesome. Really glad to hear you're enjoying the videos. Glad to hear you subscribed. Glad you're joining us tonight as well. I'm just looking around for my little shunting pole and I seem to have lost it, which is a bit of a pain because that makes uncoupling quite easy. If I put it under my iPad. No, it's not under my iPad. Oh, there it is. It's right at the opposite end of the room with all the DC stuff. Okie doke, right. Let me faff around with this for a bit. Yeah, this camera is not working, basically. Really sorry about this, guys. You can just see it. There's a blank shot on the thing at the moment, but it's basically just kind of frozen because if I move the train now, it's not actually moving on the screen. So apologies about that. Tell you what, if I do that, you get a quick, brief glimpse of my home screen there and of my dog. We'll run this back around the reversing loop though. I realise the camera is pointing a little bit further downwards than it was originally as well. Yeah, that's really annoying. I don't know why that's suddenly decided to not charge. It's almost like I've got to keep tapping it to sort of keep it active. Like I say, though, at least it's happened right at the end of the live stream and not as I was trying to get everything set up. So more troubleshooting for later on then. So we'll get this coupled to the train again. And we'll try and do a slow coupling there. Came in a bit hot, but it was all right. Right, what do you say? Shall we just run? We'll run another train in, and then we will. What will we do? Yeah, we'll run another engine in, and then we'll set the Peckett on its way, and I think we'll call that it for tonight, shall we? Because we've been going for nearly an hour and a half at this point. So thank you so much to everybody who has joined in tonight. We're not going anywhere just quite yet. Dinmore Junction just says late again, but I'm here now. I'm sorry, mate. You've just joined with like the last 5 minutes to go. But it's worth having you here just for those 5 minutes anyway. Joe Chalice says, I've got an Engage layout and just bought a Class 56 coal sector livery weathered by TMC. Oh, brilliant. That sounds exciting. I've got an Engage project in mind for the future myself, if I'm honest. And as much as I don't want to rush this part of the... I don't want to particularly rush this Sorry, I got distracted there because I was having to reset the camera again. Right, let's get this other engine into the shot, or running through the shot rather. Fingers crossed this all works. I've changed some things around, but we've got the J36 coming through the shop now, which is nice. And that's got the Hornby 6-wheel coaches on the back as well. So if you saw that video where I showed off these coaches, this was the formation they were running in during that video, which is nice. Oh, I've just realised I don't want to go to that. Sorry, I've flipped all the wrong buttons there and nothing worked in the way I wanted it to. There we go. It's the J36 coming through that shot quite nicely. You get a very nice look at the teak livery on these coaches here as well. They are lovely. Actually, I did just remembered I forgot to put the lights on them, but that's a bit of a shame. Right, in that case, then let's head back to this shot here. We're getting quite close now to the end of the stream, so let's run the peckets off. Are all the points set correctly? No, they're not. Now they are. So here it goes. Off goes the pecket. Luke Rothwell says, last 5 minutes, come on, get to 2,000. That might be a bit of a push, although that said, I haven't been checking to see how close we are. Let's swap to that. Tell you what, as I do that, I'll just quickly open another tab and see how close we are to 2,000 subscribers, because I don't know. My computer doesn't like this. It's making lots of whirring and buzzing noises. Oh, we're quite away from I mean, we're about 100 away from 2,000 at this point. So I admire your optimism, but it's I feel that might be just a bit much for this live stream. I'm assuming that the vast majority of you guys who are watching at the moment are already subscribed. I assume that's the case. Are you not? If you're not, that doesn't matter. You don't have to subscribe. I guess I'm just curious as to why you would be watching if you aren't subscribed. But certainly, it's fun to have you all here anyway, regardless. Right, I think maybe I'll just run if I can fix this camera. I'm sort of having to manually select this camera that's at the other end of the station every single time, and it doesn't like what I'm doing with it. So let's go back to this one. I'm just going to very quickly run this engine round, and we'll run it back into the sheds, and we'll call that the end of the day. So it's just heading off into the distance there. I do have to sort of keep nudging the camera every so often to keep it awake, which is not ideal. So we'll do this as quickly as possible so we can get off this shot. Admittedly, you can't see that much anyway because the J36 is a bit blurry, and then there's some rather nice coaches sitting in the middle of the station. But yes, right. Let's go. That's the wrong shot. Oh, that's an even worse shot. There we go. Right, flipping points on the fly. Everything is in the wrong place. There we go. I think I just about got everything into the right place as we finished up there. So it has just officially gone 9 o'clock now. I just saw the clock tick over, although there's a bit of a delay. So that's this will happen in a few minutes for you guys probably. But right, so. Yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been amazing to have you all watching along and joining in, and yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you again to Sammy B Films and to I'm going to get this name wrong again. Radislaw Sosha, is that right? Radislaw, I don't know. I'm sorry. That's now like 3 or 4 times I've butchered your name. But thank you to those guys. They both sent in super chats, which is absolutely awesome. So thank you so much to everybody who has watched. Thank you especially to those guys who who felt like they were enjoying the content enough to super chat. The money that does come through on the super chats as well does all go back into the channel. So you know, it's not just sort of yeah, don't know what I was going to say with that, but basically, I do put it towards the channel and continuing making these videos. So thank you very much to everybody who tuned in tonight. I think you could agree we ran a few more trains than we did previously. So it's been a success on that front. Sorry that I wasn't as active in the chat so much more. But yeah, it's been great to have you all here. It's been lovely to just sort of run this railway a bit more, especially as it's still quite new to me, so the novelty hasn't worn off yet. But yes, hopefully it won't be too long before we're doing one for 2,000 subscribers. So I don't know what we'll do for that. I mean, it's come up so quickly. I haven't really got any plans for it or anything, so I have to come up with something quickly. But yeah, what would you like to see for that, guys? Would you like to see more on the modular railway as we've got here? Or would you like to see Pickwick Yard make a return, my little shunting layout? So yeah, maybe I'll put up a poll for that closer to the time when we actually cross the milestone. I don't want to tempt fate too early. But thank you so much to everybody who is... Thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in tonight. Thank you to everybody who is watching the videos. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And yeah, have a great evening. Have a great rest of your week. Have a fantastic weekend as well when that arrives. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video, which will be out on Sunday. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and good night.